My parents canceled my plane ticket and texted me saying, "The plane is not for you. Get on the train, you loser." I laughed and wrote, "Okay." I decided not to go on vacation at all. But when they came back, they were shocked because I could still hear the laughter of my family as we piled out of the car, the automatic doors of the airport sliding open before us. The scent of coffee and the murmur of hurried travelers filled the air. But I was focused on one thing, the boarding passes my father held in his hand. Our long-planned family vacation was finally happening. Or so I thought. "James, grab the luggage," my mother said, already pulling out her phone to take pictures. "Make sure you don't lose your passport this time." I rolled my eyes and hoisted my suitcase onto the trolley, ignoring the teasing. My younger brother, Daniel, was glued to his phone, barely acknowledging me as I maneuvered through the crowd. We reached the check-in counter, and my father handed over the tickets with a grin, his eyes glinting with something I couldn't quite place. The airline employee scanned each one, her fingers flying over the keyboard. Then she frowned, looking up at me. "Sir, I'm not seeing your ticket in our system." I blinked. "What do you mean? My ticket should be with the rest of my family's. We booked together." She double-checked. "I'm sorry, but your ticket was canceled 2 days ago. There's no seat reserved under your name." I felt a sharp twist in my gut. "That must be a mistake, check again." My mother let out a snicker, and I turned to see her and Daniel grinning at their phones. My father, failing miserably at stifling his laughter, clapped me on the back. "Guess you're not coming, son." "What?" My voice came out hoarse, my phone buzzed. "A message from Dad, the plane's not for you. Go on a train holiday, loser." Daniel let out a loud cackle. "Man, you should see your face, classic." I stared at them, the weight of their betrayal sinking in. This wasn't some harmless joke, they had actually canceled my ticket. While I worked overtime for months, helping pay for this vacation, they had schemed behind my back. "You're kidding, right?" My voice was barely above a whisper. Mom smirked. "We thought it'd be funny. You always take things too seriously. You canceled my ticket as a joke." My hands clenched into fists. "I paid for this trip. I covered the upgrades, the hotel, the rental car." "And you, oh don't be so dramatic," Dad interrupted, grabbing his carry-on. "You work all the time anyway. Thought you might enjoy a little staycation." A slow burn of fury built in my chest. "You knew how much I needed this break." "I've been paying your bills, Daniel's tuition." "You'll survive," Daniel muttered, already turning back to his phone. Relax, I scoffed, shaking my head. "You've got to be kidding me." But they weren't. My family, my own blood, was leaving me behind like discarded luggage, laughing as they headed towards security. Dad threw a casual wave over his shoulder. "See you in a week, don't burn the house down." I stood frozen in place as they disappeared into the crowd, their laughter ringing in my ears. My mind raced. This was no innocent prank. It was a message, a cruel, humiliating display of how little they valued me. Slowly, my anger crystallized into something sharp and unwavering. If they thought I was nothing more than an ATM, they were about to learn the cost of their betrayal. The moment I stepped back into my apartment, I shut the door and leaned against it, exhaling slowly. The sting of betrayal at the airport still burned in my chest. Their mocking message played on repeat in my mind. My own family had treated me like a joke, despite everything I had done for them. A cruel prank, they had called it. But I wasn't laughing. Pulling out my laptop, I logged into my banking app and stared at the long list of recurring transactions. My brother's tuition fees, my father's golf club membership, my mother's beauty salon expenses. Then there was the emergency fund, a separate account they frequently dipped into under the guise of unexpected costs. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. For years, they had lived comfortably, thanks to me. I had never once complained. I had worked tirelessly to provide for them, ensuring they never had to worry about bills, never had to budget their luxuries. And how had they repaid me? By humiliating me at an airport and leaving me stranded. My jaw clenched. No more. The first cancellation was my brother's tuition payment. It was due in a week. I clicked on the cancel button, and confirmed it with a deep sense of satisfaction. Next, I moved to my father's golf club fees. I imagined the outrage when he realized he could no longer saunter onto the green, bragging about his so-called successes, while I footed the bill. Cancelled. My mother's salon fees. Gone. The emergency fund, locked. I changed the password and blocked their access entirely. It took less than 10 minutes to undo years of financial dependence. My phone buzzed. A message from my mother. "We just arrived. The beach is incredible. Hope you're not too mad, sweetheart. It was just a joke. Love you." I scoffed. A joke. A joke would have been pretending for a few seconds, not actually canceling my ticket and abandoning me. I turned off my phone and set it aside. Let them enjoy their vacation. They had no idea the storm that was coming. As I made myself a late dinner, a sense of peace washed over me. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like a bank account with legs. I felt like a man reclaiming control over his own life. My family was about to learn a harsh lesson, one they would never forget. The first message came from my brother. "Hey James, my tuition payment is due. Can you send it over?" His tone was casual, as if nothing had happened. Now you can watch the second part by pressing share and more.